is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool shit almost every single day. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my real/stage-used Gwar collection. Now, around September of 2019, I got my first stage-used Gwar piece, and ever since then, the collection has just kind of blown up. I got my foot in the door with that initial score. I'm a poet and I just don't know it. Anyways, I got my foot in the door with that first piece, and ever since then I've been slowly but surely adding to the collection. And I just kind of wanted to take a second and shoot a video on everything that I've acquired so far, because I think it's probably going to be at least a month or two until I score something else. But I am still diligently working to score more stage-used Gwar items. I am picky and choosy about the items that I want. So yeah, I just figured that now would be a good time to take a look at all that stuff, show it off real briefly, and that will be that. So let's go ahead and hop on into it. Oh yeah, and one thing to keep in mind is that I'm only showing my stage-used or real deal, meaning from the real molds or from the original makers of these props, and not my entire Gwar collection in general. Obviously, I have tons of CDs and DVDs and VHSs and cassettes, posters, flags, magazines, tiki mugs, you name it, I probably have it. This video is solely for the real deal, once again meaning that it came from the same maker or the same molds, and stage-used items. So don't ask why this ball sack, the Jaws of Death helmet, was not included. This is a handmade piece. This was not made by anyone in Gwar. It was not stage used by anyone in Gwar, so it does not go on the list. Other items do not go on the list. Even though they're signed and even though they came directly from Gwar, they are not props or masks and they are not stage used, so they will not go on the list. Understood? Good, let's go. Alright, I mentioned it in the last video, but when I'm down here filming in this position, I just can't help but feel like this meme. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and start off with my first score, which is the one directly behind me in the middle. This is the stage-used Violence Has Arrived mask and chest plate, and this was the chest plate that he used during his sets. I also believe that he wore this in the 90s at some points, and I also believe that he wore this with War Party, and the reason that I say that is because he always had a slightly smaller chest plate with absolutely no shoulder pieces when playing live. So these chest pieces and shoulder plates that you see here are obviously too big. He did not wear those while performing. He only wore those for special occasions such as photo shoots, TV appearances, stuff like that. So this is the stage-used Violence Has Arrived mask and chest plate, and I keep them together because I have the other pieces that were worn with the other masks here, and I will talk about those in just a second. So even though these scores came after a few others, I figured we're already over here on the Jizmax side. I'll go ahead and talk about those as well. Here we have the 90s attire. This is going to be the 90s chest plate and shoulder pads along with the 90s mask. This mask and armor were used on more albums than I can count. They were used on at least 4, maybe more, but definitely 4. I definitely have the proof that they were used on This Toilet Earth, Carnival of Chaos, Ragnarok, and We Kill Everything. As you can see, moving into Violence Has Arrived, they went ahead and changed the sculpt, changed the mask, and we got even more of a dog/jackal look, and obviously that continued into Beyond Hell, which is the current style mask with some slight changes here and there, album by album. But yeah, this is definitely probably the proudest piece in my Gwar collection, maybe tied for first place with something else that you guys will see later on. And this setup brings me to this setup here, which is the War Party Jizmac. This is also another favorite of mine. I don't think that it's going to be tied for first just because, and I'll explain a little bit later why I have the two pieces that are tied for first, but definitely a favorite in my collection. War Party is my all-time favorite Gwar album. Anybody that's going to ask me, hey, I want to get into Gwar, where do I start? I will always say War Party. It's a heavy fucking album, just really, really good music. Every track on that album is a banger, so War Party. But yes, this is the stage-used War Party mask along with the chest plate and shoulder pads, and we also have the belt down there. Not sure if you guys can see that, but I will show it off here in a second. This belt is actually from the 90s attire that I just got done showing you, and I also have the wrist guards and the feet that went with this setup as well, and fun fact, he wore all of that stuff through all 3 of these cycles. So, the 90s attire had the same exact wrist pads as Violence Has Arrived and War Party, and he eventually retired those and went with the completely new look for Beyond Hell. Those were later sold off, and now they are in my collection. So, just kind of cool to think that so many pieces were used for so long. It was at least a 10-year span for those wrist guards and this belt down here, so that's kind of cool. So that is my Jizmac setup, and I guess technically I have a stage-used drumstick behind it just to accent it just a little bit, just to put a little pepper on it.
What you want to do is put a little pepper on the end of it. You just want to put a little pepper on the end of it. Like, yes!
And now we will move over to the other side of the room and show you guys some more stuff. Alright, so we've moved over to the other side of the room, and real quickly I just want to go ahead and show you guys these. These are the stage-used Jizmac feet that accompanied those outfits over there, as well as the wrist guards. I have not gotten a case for these yet, just due to the quarantine thing. I actually got the majority of those Jizmac pieces after the quarantine had already started, so I haven't really been leaving the house unless I need to. I just kind of leave these on the shelf underneath of them for now. But I already had this display, and it kind of fit those perfectly, so I went ahead and threw those in there. But yeah, these ones will get a case at some point in the near future whenever all of this stuff calms the fuck down. Just not really worth it for me to go out to Hobby Lobby for no reason other than to get a case for these. So those are fine for now, but now we are on this side of the room, and this is just kind of where the TV is, and I have a shelf underneath it, so I went ahead and started setting stuff up, and I guess we will start with these gauntlets, and these are not stage-used gauntlets, but they are made by Dave and another intern at the Slave Pit. I think I got those back in 2014-ish, maybe 2013, and I just got them as a gift from that intern. He was kind of buddies with Dave. Dave was thinking about bringing them into the Slave Pit. They ended up making these together, and that guy knew that I was a huge Gwar fan, so he sent them to me after Dave passed away, so those are definitely a special piece. And it's hard to believe that there was a time where I was so broke that I actually considered selling those for like 300 bucks, and now I couldn't imagine selling them ever. So yeah, definitely a special piece. Not stage used, but they are from the real deal molds, and just the fact that Dave Brocky was the one to help make those is pretty cool. The hands are not real, and the mask is not real, so we will not be including those in there. These are just random pickups. I got this on eBay a few months before Dave passed away, and I think I found these shortly after during a Halloween hunting at a thrift store, and they look like odorous hands, so I stuck them in there. Alright, so over here are some special pieces, and this one is special just because I really like Sleazy. I've always said that he's probably my favorite actual character, just for the sake of being a character. I think that he's hilarious, and I think that he's cool as fuck, and I just really, really like Sleazy. And as I grew up, I found out that Don did more and more for the band than just portray that Sleazy character, so I'm definitely into Sleazy, and this is actually Sleazy's stage-used 2008 to 2016 hair, meaning that every time that I saw Sleazy live in concert, he was wearing this hairpiece, so it's a very, very special piece to me. I've always wanted a Sleazy hairpiece, and I finally got the chance to own one, and I jumped all over it, so I'm super, super happy with that. And this was made by Sleazy, or Don as well, and I've always wanted a stage-used decap head, so when I got the chance to own one, I didn't really care who it was, but it just worked out that it was a Mitt Romney head, which I'd actually seen decapitated live in concert as well, which means that there's some sentimental stuff there too. And another fun fact, Don is actually the one that sculpted this Mitt Romney, so that's kind of cool as well, and I keep him over here because he fits, but I guess it just works out that he is in the little Sleazy corner as well, seeing as how Sleazy made him. So yeah, these are definitely special pieces. These are two of the later scores. I actually got this right before the Jizmac stuff, and I got this right before the Mitt Romney head, so yeah, not a whole lot to say about him. I think this was a 2012 head, and it was later auctioned off through the Slave Pit for Gwar's Orgasmageddon comic book crowdfunding thing, so it sold for $1,200, and the original buyer actually sold it to me. I think he's selling a lot of his Gwar stuff, and I'm going to be getting as much of it as I possibly can, so look forward to that stuff in the future. I do look forward to adding more decap heads to my collection, ones that I want slightly more than Mitt Romney. I did just buy this for the sake of thinking that I would never get the chance to buy another stage-used decap head, and I had always wanted a stage-used decap head, so I didn't want to let it go by. I went ahead and got it, and I do plan on keeping it, but I would really, really like to add a Nazi skinhead decap head to my collection, and I do believe that that is going to be coming to me in the future as well. Alright, moving right along to the last item on the list. This one is definitely tied for first place with the 90s Jizmac over there, and that is because this one is so personal. There's just a really cool story on how this came to be. I actually ordered some stuff from Don through his website, which I am going to be linking down below in the description of this video. I think this is what I got, and I ended up doing a video review. Don ended up seeing that video and commenting on it. I think he said that I did more for his website through this one review than he had managed to do in like 10 years or something, and that really impressed him for some reason, so he left a nice comment. We ended up kind of staying in touch after that, and I asked him during a live stream if he would sell me his Sleazy Blaster, because this is something that I have always wanted. And if you guys haven't seen the clip, I'll go ahead and let you watch it here.
Let's see. AJ, good. Sell me Sleazy Blaster. Okay, AJ, you got it, baby. I got a mold for that. I'll tell you what, I'll sell you the stage and television version and make myself a new one and keep the new one. And that way you got a stage-used one and you can stroke off to all your friends with. And I get a new gun. You're paying for it. So win-win. Hey, AJ? But I want a lot of hype on your channel. You're a fucking influencer. He's an influencer. 88,000 fucking subscribers. Fuck that guy. I hate him. I'm jealous.
So yeah, he was just nice enough to say, yeah, I'll sell you the stage used one, and he did, and when I got it, he actually signed it, yo, influencer, put your mouth on this, Sleazy P Martini, and I don't know, that just makes me really, really fucking happy. The influencer joke is hilarious and also true, so it's just like one of those things where no one wants kicked in the balls, but any dude on planet Earth would take a kick in the nuts from Steve-O, and no one wants made fun of, especially if it's true, but I'll go ahead and take getting made fun of by Sleazy P Martini because that is an honor. So I've got the stage-used 08 to 2020 Sleazy Blaster here, and this is definitely tied for first place just for the sentimental fact, because aside from being a very cool and very obscure piece to be in the stage-used Gwar prop circulation market, whatever you want to call it, it's also just super sentimental. The way that it worked out was really cool, and I'm very, very happy to own this, so yeah. Final piece on the list, definitely tied for first place with the 90s Jizmac, and I'm super stoked, and another big thank you to Sleazy for sending this my way. I definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's gonna just about wrap this video up. So this has been my stage-used or real deal Gwar collection update as of April of 2020. Who knows where we're going to be at the start of 2021. Maybe I'll get to make another one. I'll have acquired so many new cool pieces that I'm able to just have an entire room dedicated to it or something. Who knows? We'll see. But I figured this would be a good time to do it. I do have some other deals in the works. I do plan on getting more stage-used stuff in the near future. But just in case there is a gap due to everything that's happening in the world right now, I wanted to go ahead and shoot this for you guys and just get it out for myself too. I'm very, very proud of this stuff and I'd like to show it off. So that is going to conclude this video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much for watching. Hope you're all staying safe, happy, and healthy out there. And until next time, this has been AJ Good at the House of Masks telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and we will see you later.